All right, not much to discuss on the market front unless you want to comment. I think all eyes are waiting what the CBN is going to decide in about an hour from now.
Exactly. That's what I think. As well. I think, I mean, what you've seen in the market today too is because everybody is waiting for the CBN's, the Monetary Policy Committee decision, which is going to come very soon, maybe in like an hour from now or so. So as we speak, I mean, today's market, we didn't have too much of an expectation because we know that everybody is pretty much waiting for what the CBN is going to decide today, which is, like you said, in about an hour from now.
I think many people are undecided. It's a 50-50 here. There are doves and there are hawks. There are those who believe the CBN will tighten further, and there are those who say, after we saw those August inflation figures coming through, the CBN might keep rates unchanged. Are you with the doves or the hawks?
Well, I think we have to look at it from the impact of the last the last MPC decision, the interest rate hike that was done in July. How has that affected the economy, so to speak? Now it's in single digits, but let's be very realistic about this. The reduction has actually come in headline inflation, not in core inflation. And what does that mean for us? It means that the response to those policies may not really have been a response to the CBN policies. The reduction we have seen in inflation may have come from external factors. E.g., food prices have come down, and that's what we are talking about when we talk about core inflation. Core inflation actually has gone up. It's still in double digits. It's still about 11%. It's but headline inflation has come down. So what has really come down is food prices, which is based on declining demand, based on household demand, which is falling globally, and stable harvest in the local market here.
The sorts of
also,
the sorts of things that the governor and his team have to consider, because the governor's always said, even though getting inflation down into single digits is a key priority, stabilizing the NAIRA a key priority, he is worried about inflationary pressures going forward. What are your views, particularly as we see a minimum wage come to the fore, a government with very ambitious plans, and so we're going to see huge spending. So is inflation still a real threat?
I think that what is very clear is that there are potentials to inflationary pressures, which are just around the corner. And when I say potentials to inflationary pressures, what do I mean? For instance, there is the minimum wage component, which you've talked about. That's a potential threat to inflation. There is the capital implementation of the budget. That's a potential threat to inflation. There is the fuel subsidy deregulation and all of that. Both the coordinating minister of the economy and the CBN governor have both agreed that's the way to go. So yes, definitely that is also a potential threat to inflation. So there is a possibility that the inflationary pressures may become even tighter. But my take is this. I think that the CBN should rather hold where they are right now. I don't think we have seen the full impact of the last increase that they did. Right. There's been some measure of success, no doubt about it, with the reduction in headline inflation, and also there's some level of stability in the foreign exchange market. Some level, I say, because at the point the gap between the official rates and the parallel market was just ridiculous. They've been able to deal with that. So in that regard, I can say that yes, there's been some level of some measure of success, regarding the decision they took at the last MPC meeting. But having said that, I mean, you also have to look at it that, like I said earlier, the reduction in headline inflation may not have been as a result of the measures they took. It might have been as a result of external influences.
Right, we get the gist.
So I think there is a need for them to really hold on. I mean, 2012 budget is going to come on. We're going to know the details of 2012 budget by 2012. Right. The coordinating minister of the economy has made it very clear that she's going to trim the budget deficit. So,
Ademola, I want to ask you one final question, please. The NAIRA, because obviously that is also a priority for the central bank. And after the last rate hike, when we saw the MPR coming in at 8.75, we started to see major improvements in the NAIRA, also removing those restrictions on foreigners who own government debt. But now we're seeing the NAIRA under a lot more pressure. How is that going to influence the decision of the CBN?
One thing I can say is that the government has talked about maybe keeping doing some of the trades in the Chinese currency yuan. So if they're really serious about that and they are actually able to do that, you may find that there may be less pressure on the dollar, and that may work in favor of the naira. But if they're not able to do that, there may be continuous pressure on the dollar. I mean, I think this week we expect some liquidity in the market. We expect maturities in treasury bills. We expect FAC to come in. All these things usually lead to pressure on the dollar, which tends to devalue, reduce the value of the naira. But if the talk about doing some of our trades in yuan is for real and they're able to do that, I think then that would be good for the naira, and the naira may be able to stabilize against the dollar. But then again, I mean, the CBN, they've always made it very clear that if they see that the current inflation levels cannot be sustained and that there's continuous threat to the value of the naira, that they would raise rates. But I think that I would hope that they do not raise rates. I would think that they should at least wait till we have the details of the budget for the year 2012.
Okay.
Then again, then that would be a better platform on which to take a decision.